Hey, all right. How's it going? Uh, Today or tonight, because it is nighttime, the lighting is kind of bad. And uh, anyway, we're gonna do this. This might be a little bit kind of a longer video. Did a video previously on the Fighting Knights by Marx playset, the Carryall here, and showed you guys a little bit of it and how it folded up and how it works. And this is gonna be a little bit of a longer video, and we're gonna do the whole setup process, and I'm gonna tell you about my personal history with this toy. Uh, so a lot of toys that I buy, I don't necessarily have a a great deal of personal history with. Like sometimes I buy older stuff that was produced even before I was around. Um, but this toy, and then some of the stuff I buy, uh, I'm replacing. Right? I'm replacing a toy that I had when I was a kid. And this is one of those cases where this is a toy that I had as a kid when it first came out, or maybe not right when it first came out, because I got this in the Christmas of '69. So my history to the toy, though, so when you're replacing toys, right, ones that you had as a kid, with the toys, when you get them back, sometimes comes the memory of having them when you were a kid, right? So like when you first get a certain toy, sometimes it'll have, if it's made of a certain plastic and it was made around a certain time, it'll have a certain smell to it, right? That you'll recognize. And the sense of smell, the olfactory senses, are tied into the memory. I don't know why I can't. Sorry, I'm doing all of this one-handed. There's a reason why it's not fitting. Oh, obviously, we had stuff in the way. All right. Okay, we had stuff in the way. So that's installing the front, the drawbridge, right? And it snaps shut right here if you want it to. And we're not going to snap it, we'll just leave it. Or let's leave it open for now. So I got this the Christmas of '69. It's 5 years old, and it was a gift from my paternal grandmother, whom I had never met before, and the circumstances of meeting her for the first time were not happy. In a few months earlier in that year, my father was killed in a helicopter crash while he was at work. That was his job, was flying helicopters. And so that happened when I was about 4.5. So the first Christmas without my dad, my grandmother came. And I don't completely know the whole circumstances of the whole thing, but after she was gone, my mother said that my grandmother had given her money for me to pick out whatever I wanted at Sears, which is where we just happened to be. I don't know the whole story, but that's what she said. So there was a display at Sears of the 3 sets. They had Ford Apache, and then they also had the Army set, I forget what it was called, basic training. They might even have had the Cape Canaveral set as well. So one of our corner things is broken. It's not this one; it's the other one. Let me show you real quick how these go in. So I was given a choice, basically, of getting anything I wanted, and in reason, obviously. And so I liked the display of all these I might have seen the commercial. You know, I might have seen the commercial also. So, given the choice, the ones that attracted me the most were this set and the Ford Apache set, and I chose this. So I really liked this set as a kid, and the Vikings that are in this set became like favorite toys of mine. That even separate from setting the play set up and reenacting some sort of castle siege or something, you know, and you're playing. I was always picturing myself as the Vikings coming in, as opposed to the knights guarding the castle. I'm not sure why, but I did. So all of these figures, this is, I don't know the numbers completely, but I think I've got this set is complete, and these are all original. But I might be short a Viking or two, and I might be short a knight or two, but not many. This is pretty complete. Obviously, this is not, or not obviously, so this is not my set when I was a kid. This is, I mentioned that earlier. This is a replacement set. So, I guess there was some sort of bad memories in my childhood that I wasn't even really aware of tied into this set. Because when I first got this set, which I was super happy to have back because I remembered loving it so much as a kid. But once it was in my house, it was like it was like how the genre of horror or things, just, I don't know, a lot of entertainment genres are just extrapolations and fanciful ideas based around, history or such, personal histories sometimes. So this being in my house was like it carried something with it, and when I had these guys in hand, they made me like nervous and sad. Oh, I think I only have one of these guys, the spear guy. We're gonna look at all these. I'm not done talking, trust me. We got a lot of setting up to do still. I'm just setting all of our figures out here. So having the set back and all the figures back, it ended up not being a like completely positive thing. Like it made me sad for some reason, which I didn't want to be sad having the set back. Right? I wanted to be happy to have it back. And I was happy to have it back. But it was like a time traveling device. Brought back memories. And I didn't have a super happy childhood, but what I did have was lots of toys, honestly. My mother wasn't afraid to make me happy when I was asking for things. Maybe people felt sorry for me, or I don't think that's true. I think that it was probably easier for her to just, because money wasn't, a problem for the most part for my childhood. Despite my father dying, we didn't suffer financially. So, she bought me lots of toys. And my toys became like one of my things. I always had an active imagination, and well, I think you get it. Some interesting things, huh? So there's a lot of cool stuff here in this set, and I'm going to show you some of it here in a second. most of you are probably gone if you clicked on this video and you started watching it and you heard me talking about weird personal history and stuff that was uncomfortable. You might have skipped through the video. We're only probably about halfway done. We're probably mostly done with all the sad talk. Not that it was sad, it's just truth, it's just life, it's just what happens. You know, these, like I said, these toys can, all of these toys have a personal history. I think I've mentioned before, sometimes some of these toys can be spooky in a way, right? Like you don't know where they came from or who had them, or like I said, where they came from. So that's what I guess that's what I was getting at before I tangentially moved along, that they can be like talismans, or they can have negative energy, or maybe positive energy. I don't know. Look at all these guys. Look at all these. So typically, like when I first got my set, that was the first thing that went, man. I mean, probably for a couple months. Really, that's probably inaccurate. Probably a couple weeks, because my mother vacuumed like every day. So I probably lost these little rocks, or like cannonball type rocks that go on the catapults. I probably lost these in the first couple weeks, and they were all vacuumed up or lost outside in the yard. So we have these catapults that use rubber band technology to launch catapults, and there's two. So like when you set these up, you and your friend, for me it was my best buddy Garth, we used to have full-on Army Man wars, right? Like with this set, and with the guns of Navarone set, because I had that Navarone set, and I think he eventually got that set as well, or I know he did. But we would shoot at each other's figures with rubber bands or with these catapults and knock them down, and that's just how it would go. So I can't find the arrows, but there's they're in the bottom of where those the rocks are. They're all in there, or maybe there's three. I might be missing one. The arrows stick in there. You get a crossbow. You get a bow. You get the table with that. There's that lantern. There's that harp. There's like a horn, chair. You see all that stuff. So, you know, part of the thing about this play set, and like with a lot of Marx play sets, is that, you know, you're getting these accessories, but as a kid, you're not really into these. I remember not really being that into these accessories because they weren't really that functional, at least not the bows and the bow and arrows and stuff like that. It not quite the same as like maybe like NPC toys that came with those ring hand figures and came with all of those treed weapons and holsters. The cowboys had holsters and guns that came out and all kinds of stuff. But this is Marx. It's different, but it's on a different level. It's the most high quality, in my opinion. You know, when we're coming to this type of stuff, it's my favorite American company of making toys. So I basically set everybody up. There's a battering ram right over there that the Vikings can use to bust in that back door, and you might have seen that back door opens and closes. It mostly stays open unless I fiddle with it. Those flags go on the top of the castle up here, or the front of the entryway, the door. I think that's just about all of it. So I guess because of the circumstances, I remembered that moment of choosing this toy, and that's pretty heavy. I mean, I had a lot of toys as a kid. I don't remember every time I got a big Jim or every Johnny West that I got or something like that. I mean, I remember what came on Christmases, right? G.I. Joe Adventure Team stuff. I had all that G.I. Joe stuff, the Egyptian thing, and as I got older, I destroyed most of that stuff, like blew it up or sent it tumbling down a hill or hillside or something like that, you know. But this I kept. So this was all, I had this all the way up until uh, time for up until when I left, when I joined the Army. This was one of those things, one of those toys that was sold in that garage sale in Pacific Grove. Uh, yeah. But I got them all back. And I guess I made them mine again. There's a reason why I liked these so much. Because they're so freaking awesome, you guys. So I don't know. I mean, I rarely see these come up like on sites when they're not like with the set. So, I mean, I haven't really seen them sold separately. So all of them have got marks on the bottom. Like I've mentioned earlier, they made reproductions of the knights, but I don't think they made reproductions of these guys. And what is it? 60, 65, 67? Shit, I can't see it. I think it's 67, honestly, guys. It's hard to see that one. Maybe it'll be easier on this guy. This guy was one of my all-time favorite figures as a kid. I mean, I had a couple. I mean, I think you get like 2 of each sculpt. This is a terrible idea. Trying to look at the bottom of these. Trust me, these are the real deal, and I think it's 67. So this guy was one of my favorites as a kid. Like I said, I had a couple of these. And this guy was always kind of out. This guy would be like on my shelf, like even as a teenager in high school, I had this guy out, like next to other stuff. If you haven't seen these knight sculpts before, I don't know how old these are, but you know, Marx used these for a long, long time, I think. Like I said, there's recasts of those that are, I mean, just about everywhere. I've seen them in many different colors, like blue and black. That might knock that over. Remember how I said that one is broken? So, remember what I said about the knights being completely kind of outclassed? Like, you want to be these guys. Not only is the plastic color much cooler, in my opinion, like, I mean, it's a neater color than the silver, but the molds are just so cool, the sculpts. I guess I was attracted to this set because of stuff that I had seen on television, like movies maybe that had knights or Vikings in it. Probably knights is what I saw that looked interesting to me, because I don't think I had seen anything with Vikings when I was 5 years old, or I didn't know that much about. And the set, you don't really see the Vikings when you're looking at the outside of the box or the case. You don't really notice the Vikings as much as, it's called Fighting Knights. But when you get it open, you get it home, you see these guys and you're like, wow, these are awesome. So yeah, whether or not, and whether this toy in this playset still makes me sad, or whether it makes me happy, or whether it's a combination of both, it's all good, and it's all part of this process. And it's kind of fun time traveling sometimes, because when you're doing it like this, you can always come back to present day. So if you have the bad memories tied in with this stuff, as a warning, as we close the video, if you've lasted an entire 20 minutes here on YouTube with me talking about toy Vikings, then yeah. If you're into buying old toys and you're thinking of replacing something you had when you were little and you had an unhappy childhood, prepare to maybe have a wave of anxiety or unhappiness. Could happen. Or not. Maybe not. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great night.